Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday and it's time for our writing lesson. Oh, do you recognise that character? It's Alex. I wonder what he wants this week. Our learning intention: we are learning to plan and compose a persuasive text. Our success criteria: I can understand the purpose of a persuasive text. I can use the correct persuasive writing structure. I can use an Oreo scaffold to write a persuasive text. I can use time connectives to put my reasons in order. This term we've learned a lot about persuasive texts. Today I just want to go back and review what we've learnt so far. So do you remember what it means to persuade? To persuade means to convince. When we persuade someone, we want to convince them of something. We can use persuasive writing for different reasons. You may want to persuade someone to believe what you believe. You might want to persuade a person to take an action or to do something. You might want to change someone's mind about a topic that's important to you. This term we've also learnt about the features of a persuasive text. By that I mean, how are we going to organise our opinions and our reasons, and in what order should we write them down? Last week I introduced you to the acronym OREO. Each letter stands for a particular part of the persuasive text, and it really does fit in with the structure. Remember, O-R-E-O. So we always start with the title. This is where we're going to tell the reader the topic we're going to be writing about. O, this is our opinion, and this is where we're going to write our topic sentence. This is our first sentence, and it's a really important sentence where we're going to express to the reader our opinion on the topic. Then, because we want to persuade them, we're going to give them some reasons. In fact, the more reasons we have, the more persuasive our writing will be. So a good example would be at least to give them 3. And when we're writing a reason, that's when we're explaining in detail your opinion on the topic. And for every reason, we're going to back it up with another sentence, which is going to give them an example to support our opinion. Then finally, after we've completed all our reasons, we're going to use our opinion again. We're going to restate it again to really reinforce our opinion to the reader. Remember, a really good persuasive text or an Oreo is a fat Oreo. So that's when we're going to have our 3 reasons. Today's story is I Want a New Room. Once again, we're going to be looking at Alex. Alex did a really good job last week in trying to convince his mum that he should get the baby iguana, and he did. Well, time has moved on now. Now Alex has a new baby sister, and he has to share a room with his brother Ethan. But Alex doesn't like sharing his room and really wants his own room back again. So as you're listening to the story, I want you to listen to all the arguments Alex uses to convince and persuade his parents. In fact, this time, his mum's so tired with the new baby, he's trying to convince his dad that he needs a new room. Once again, I've got the link address that you can type in, or you can go to the links are in your writing folder or in your week 9 learning timetable. In the story, Alex was really good at writing letters to his parents. Last week he wrote to his mum and he convinced her to get a baby iguana. This week he was trying really hard to get his own room. Now I was thinking if he was going to write all his reasons down in a persuasive text, it might look something like this. So what I did, I got all the reasons and I used the structure to write this persuasive text. So I started with the title, I Want a New Room, so that now his parents know what the topic is. The topic sentence, I believe that I should definitely get my own room. Can you notice I used the word definitely, a high modality word? Then I started my reasons off using a time connective. I used the word firstly. Firstly, it is impossible to sleep near Ethan. Now that's a good reason, but it's not convincing. You need to back it up with an example. So my example was, I lie awake each night because when Ethan is sleeping, he sounds like a cat coughing up fur balls. He even snores like Grandpa Ralph. It is important kids get their sleep. Reason 2, I've used this time connective secondly, my toys are being destroyed. Another good reason, but I've got to back it up with an example. Ethan does not know how to respect other people's property. He broke my skateboard and lost my new Captain Creepy action figure. Then reason 3, because it's my final reason, I'm going to use the word finally. Finally, why should I have to suffer just because I am the oldest? So there I've used a rhetorical question. And my example is, I am the most important child in the family and I need my own space. Then finally, my conclusion, where I'm going to restate the opinion, for these reasons, it's clear that I should definitely have my own room. In the story, Alex didn't get his own room, but his dad did listen to his reasons, and instead he did build him his own special place. Have you ever wanted your own special place to play or just to be by yourself? Today you're going to write a persuasive text, on to convince your parents why you should get your own special place. Now, Alex sort of wanted to put an extra wing on the house, which just was out of the question. But you might get something like I've got in the photos. Imagine if you had your own fort or a special tent or even a tree house very similar to Alex's. Boys and girls, look in your writing folder and you'll see that I've given you a copy of my planning sheet and a persuasive word map. This is going to give you lots of great words to use and phrases to use in your own writing. You'll notice they're not incomplete sentences because that's not what planning sheets are all about. In my planning sheet, I've just got words and keywords that you could use. Now, I've got some extra words that I didn't use. For example, I've got the words like calm down, upset, angry, resilient. You might want to put in that you need a special place to go when you're angry to calm down or you're feeling upset, and this is going to help you become more resilient. You might say something like, it's a great place to play with your friends and your brothers and sisters, where you can share your toys. You can have lots of fun. Use any of those words and phrases you can use in your own persuasive text. Don't forget, on your planning sheet, you've also got great introductions like, I strongly believe, it's clear that, for these reasons, it's certain, I'm writing to. Great beginning sentences for your topic sentences. Then on the next part, you've got all your time connectives. And don't forget, for your endings, you've got great sentence beginnings for your conclusions. So once again, boys and girls, I've given you an example of what you could do. Now, this is mine. You can use some of the ideas, but I would really like you to try and come up with some of your own reasons. Right, so once again, I'm using my Oreo scaffold to help me. I've got my title, I need my own space. In my opinion is, I definitely believe that I should have my own special place. My first reason, firstly, there's my time connective. If I had a cubby or a tree house, I would definitely spend more time playing outside. Now that's a good reason, but I've got to back it up with an example. And my example is, this means I'll be spending less time watching TV or playing computer games and using my imagination instead. My second reason is, so I've got my secondly is my time connective. Secondly, a cubby house or tree house is a great place for me to play with my friends and get plenty of fresh air and exercise. Once again, a good reason, but I want to convince them, so I'm going to back it up with an example. We can play safely outside even if it rains. This means there will be less mess inside or toys left around the house. How convincing do you think I am being so far? Well, that's where I'm going to stop now. You've been writing persuasive text for a number of weeks now and you're getting really good at them. So you've got to remember, you've got to come up with your own opinion. You can use some of mine and come up with your 3 reasons. But I'm really looking for that example. For every reason you write, back it up with an example And then, of course, you're going to finish it with your opinion again, using those strong, high modality words to really reinforce why you should get your own room. Have a look at these 3 other little special places. I really like the first one. It's got a slide, a climbing wall, a sand pit. Gosh, if I had that when I was a kid, I would be outside all the time playing there. So here's your writing task. Today you're going to write a persuasive text. I want my own special place. What's your opinion? What's your special place? Is it a tent? Is it a fort? Is it a cubby house? Or a tree house like Alex got? Once again, you're going to use an Oreo worksheet to complete your writing task. It's very similar to the one we used last week, except I don't have a picture of the Oreos. You've got your title, your opinion, where you're going to write your topic sentence, reason 1, then back it up with the example, reason 2, back it up with an example, reason 3, back it up with an example, and then you're going to finish your conclusion writing your opinion again. Now, as I said before, you can use my planning sheet and the word map to help you, but remember, they're just some of the thoughts that I thought of. You can come up with some of your own reason examples to explain your opinion. Okay, so now you've finished. Now it's time to go and edit your work. So you're going to use my 5-tick checklist. First of all, check. Did you start your sentence with capital letters? And have you put extra capital letters in the sentences? I know someone who does that. Did you finish your sentences with full stops? Did you leave finger spaces between your words, and did you write on the lines? Now, check your spelling. Now, you might not know how to spell everything, but if you don't know how to spell a word, circle it and go and ask someone to help you. Then finally, read it again or read it to someone else. Did you leave some words out? Does it make sense? So now you've finished your work and you've used my checklist. Time to get someone to take a photo of it and upload it into your week 9 completed work document. This week, boys and girls, you'll notice that I've put 3 additional sheets in these. These are 3 optional fun activity sheets that I found that went with the book this week. You can do a colouring sheet, you can do a puzzle to help Alex find Captain Creepy, and there's a word search. Please don't feel that you have to do them, they're just a bit of fun. If you do, and if you want to, you can upload them in the completed work document to show me what you did. Well, that's it for another week. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about Alex and him trying to get another room, and I'm looking forward to reading your persuasive text to find out what your special place is.